Welcome, everyone, to the New England Real Estate Journal and the New York Real Estate Journal podcast. I'm Rick Kaplan, your host, and my guest today is Diana Perry, and she is with Rumphius Marketing, and she is the president and founder of Rumphius Marketing, a marketing agency created to help CRE-related businesses modernize, beautify, and grow their brand. Hello, Diana.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Right now, this is like the most important job in the world, to be a marketing expert because of what's going on. So maybe you can give us a little insight on what directions on, the 2022 market should go.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think, there's a lot going on right now. I think obviously with the pandemic lasting much longer than anyone ever imagined, everything has changed. I think many industries have changed, particularly commercial real estate and retail specifically. We haven't been getting those daily commuters in the offices every day. So I think the biggest thing that we've really been seeing is how, retailers in particular are adapting to new situations. So I think right now it's really led to a lot of creativity. I think that's been a key factor in not only keeping your business running, but, making your business stand out. So I think there's, quite a few trends within that. I think one of the biggest ones that we've all been seeing and hearing about is video. Video is everywhere right now. Every single social medium is trying to capture video, engage with more people via video. So I think that's definitely a main thing that's, kind of really drumming up in 2022. I think video's always been, a big medium for people to utilize, because I think with video, what's great about it is it really evokes emotion from people, and that's what's memorable. Using video is 3 times more memorable than just someone reading text, because you are actually feeling something when you're viewing it. And I think in particularly right now, it's the short form video. So we're really talking about vertical video ranging from, say, 7 seconds to 2 minutes.
Well, we all have this short-term attention span that we developed over the years, most likely because of our everything moving so fast. It's not like 50 years ago where things moved a lot slower and you had time to take it all in. Now it's boom, 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 so you have to be able to address that. I'm guessing by what you just said.
Yeah. And I think, between social media and media in general, we're really seeing the highest of highs and the lowest with lows. You're not seeing a lot of that like middle ground anymore. So I think, like the bell curve has kind of changed as far as how you're even creating video. You used to kind of start here and build the story up and then, kind of close it out. But now, because everyone wants things in clippets, they want the highlights, that curve is kind of changed. So you're really starting your story right at the top of excitement, because you only have about 3 seconds to really capture someone's attention before, they're swiping on to the next thing.
I mean, being an old timer, and having to deal with social media nowadays, my son yells at me all the time. He says, "You're so bad at social media. Why do you even go on?" But, I mean, you have to deal with that all the time, I'm sure, because especially in New England, you have a lot of people that have been in the industry for many, many, many years.
Many, yes.
Yeah. So, to reach these people with social media, most of them don't even know what the social media does or is, and I'm sure you've been around those people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I think with CRE, the whole industry as a whole has been pretty slow to adapt to new technology and to social media, which I've always found very ironic, because it's always been the retailers who are driving, everything with social and tech. So I think what's good about that from a marketing perspective is that it definitely leaves open a lot of opportunity for you to kind of stand out and be different. And since I created Rumphius Marketing last year, I have been getting more clients saying, okay, we kind of get social media, we have a graphics person, but we really need some strategy behind it. So I've been able to kind of help on that level from a consulting perspective. But then also what's been interesting is I've been hearing from more companies and have done a few webinars in regards to social media prospecting. So I think this isn't a new thing. You know, Beth Azor has been talking about it for like 10 plus years, but I think people are really finally understanding the value in it. And, you know, you're seeing new kind of tech players coming out like, you know, Re-Squared and Retail Sphere, who are, you know, trying to make their way within the CRE market. And we have seen, you know, companies kind of jumping board and saying, okay, let's do this, because we're really seeing the value. We've been hearing from others that this is working. And I think in our environment, targeting people digitally is just huge, because everyone, you know, one week things are great and we're meeting people for coffee, and the next week, you know, we're afraid to walk down the street. So
Yeah, well, you know, you talk about the, you know, the digital and all of, you know, New England Real Estate Journal, which has been around for, yeah, I think it's over 60 years now. But it was always a publication, and now, you know, we also had that paper. We also have a digital edition. The digital edition in New England and New York has gone through the roof since this pandemic started.
For sure.
You
no
know,
one's going to the office, get those publications.
Right. You can watch, you can read it anywhere. You can read it on your phone, your laptop, or, you know, anything. But, you know, I'm finding also, I always did these in-person events, you know, the little conferences, and I'm finding that more people are getting more benefit out of these virtual conferences, like a webinar, than they would be if they had the in-person. It's great for networking purposes, but if you're trying to reach or get your message out to public, as opposed to just a small group, the digital video, or digital and video, whatever you want to call it, that is reaching a larger market, because it goes on to like a YouTube or a website where it stays there and it's continuously available to people. So it can be watched 3 months down the road or 4 months down the road. So it reaches much bigger audiences and different people that aren't available to come in person as well.
Right. So I agree. And I think, you know, the conferences and the organizations that kind of jump on board with a more hybrid model are probably going to be the ones that see more success and attendance. You know, I was wondering if maybe ICSC would do that for the Here We Go conference this past December, which I heard really great things about, because I think people were just so itching to get back together and see each other. But yeah, I definitely think from a digital perspective, you know, it's great because you can snag clippets from it. You can watch it later. You can share it easily. It's great for learning, I think. I do feel from a networking perspective, I haven't seen anyone really do it very well. I attended the inbound conference that HubSpot puts on every year, and you know, it was great from a learning perspective and being able to chat and ask, you know, the speakers questions in real life time. I really enjoyed that. But from the networking perspective, they hadn't quite figured it out yet. And I reached out to a few people and ended up, you know, connecting later on. But I think that's what's interesting about everything going on now with Meta and metaverse. You know, what does that mean? How long will that take for people to truly adopt? So if we are doing more digital conferences, you know, can I throw my headset on and could we be sitting at a virtual table and like talking to each other? And, you know, I'm kind of curious about what that next level is and how long it might take for people to adopt.
I mean, I do think that it will improve like everything else. It always, someone comes up with that great concept that, everyone will jump on.
Hmm.
I do see that coming down the road, which it will be great. But I'm wondering, do you think we'll ever get back to the in-person, uh, I mean, I know there are some companies that are still doing in-person events out there. Uh, do I think it's safe? I don't think it's safe right now. Uh, but there are people that will go. I don't know what their attendance is, but I'm wondering, you're right, the hybrid is probably the way to go.
Hmm.
Down the road, do you think the in-person will fade away? Just a straight in-person?
I don't think it will ever fade away because I think just human nature, we need that connection from an emotional level. I think, there's a few different elements at play, even just having a breakup from your day to day. I mean, we've all, not all, but pretty much all of us have been working from home for 2 years, only kind of, seeing our spouse or maybe a significant other or something like that. So I think while those relationships have grown in their own way, it's great to kind of get out there. Um, Even just changing up the scenery, seeing people. I met someone for coffee the other day and we wore masks and it just felt so good just to be with someone else and, have a good conversation. And of course, the first 10 minutes you're just talking about like, oh my gosh, we're meeting in person. But yeah, I
I
don't
know.
know. I don't think it'll personally ever go away. And to your point, with especially with CRE, people have been in this industry for so long and they've always conducted business that way. So I think it's adapting to technology, embracing technology, having that always as an option, but still, building connections with people face to
I mean, the
face.
reason I say that I have that feeling because I see the younger people, they, as far as social, that is not really big with them. Because when they are social, they're always sitting on their phone and they're typing and texting to each other. So they're not really communicating one-on-one like that very much anymore.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to set their own boundaries. I have had friends or coworkers who, a little noise pops up and they're on their phone and it's just like, don't you value my time? I'm right here, So um, I think as we do go more digital, it will make people set boundaries for themselves, whether, I think particularly at home, you want your spouse or your kids to know that they're the number one. So like in our house, from 5 to 8, we just put our cell phones away. So our daughters knows that, it's all about her. And that's where we're building all those little cute family memories, having dance parties or hide and seek or whatever.
Yeah, and that's important, and I hope that's the future. People are
Yeah,
thinking that way,
yeah.
because I hate to, I see too much of it. Just everyone is going to, everyone's just looking at their phone constantly,
I
and
know, and I've had my own social experiments where I'm standing in line at Starbucks or something, and I purposely leave my phone in my pocket because I just want to look around and analyze to see, what are people doing? Are they looking around? Are they on their phone? I think a lot of people are on their phone because if you are standing in line or something, you have a little bit of downtime. So maybe you can read that article that you wanted to or something like that. But honestly, I'm like wondering how this is going to like change the human body. Like, are our necks going to like,
yeah,
be
that's a good point
more
too.
into something else, like with all of us having this terrible posture?
So, I think I got off track a little bit, but as a marketer, what that has to play into a lot of things that you have to plan for because of that. And it's not just the difference in the young people, how they view everything nowadays. It's also how do you combine the two generations or the multiple generations?
Mhm.
and be able to reach every single one with one type of marketing campaign. That's
Yeah,
got to be challenging.
I think it's a challenge. A lot of what I've been seeing recently with clients and people just starting dialogues with me is really getting back to the core of their business and, looking into their branding. Has their story adapted at all? Has their content adapted at all? So I think thinking about, where you have been, where things are now, where you want to go, how do you set yourself up from a branding perspective to kind of continue to relate to people, show that you are adapting, that you are embracing new things is really important. I know, like, for example, Sarah Malcolm talks a lot about like the story behind the brand, which I think is very, very important. And I've been working on that with a lot of my clients right now, is really kind of bringing that story out, whether they've been in the industry for a very long time and they're kind of building on that story, or maybe they're new to the industry, like, one of these prop tech companies I've been working with, what is that story? How can we tell it in a different way? Because everyone's story is unique. So I think that's what's resonating with a lot of people. How did this brand come to be? What are they doing for the greater good? That sort of thing. So I think definitely branding and kind of storytelling has been something that I think is very important right now. And again, just showing that you are adapting to new things. And I think that's a great way to kind of resonate with those different audiences. I think, with the video, it's a little bit challenging when it comes to the different generations. I think one thing I've really been noticing in regards to the video is you used to have entertainment and education and then inspiration. But now video has to be all three of those things, So like I just posted one thing yesterday or the day before on my Instagram account, and trying to think about like, okay, how can I talk about Google and its algorithm changing, but also be entertaining? So, finding like this silly lip sync, but then writing more content below in the story, and then finding the right hashtags and all of that sort of stuff. So I do think that's a little bit more challenging, but.
Well, I also know you write very well, and you probably have hundreds of different press releases and articles that you have published out in the journal as well as probably other places, but they're always short and engaging, which is very good. And I think that, as far as if a company is putting out something, it should be like that, short, engaging, and that will get as much attention as any video, I would think, maybe more.
Yeah, I think it's challenging to get people to read a lot right now. So I think, if you can write in clippets, kind of like I have done, so that you're kind of getting to the point, but also, really resonating with your audience. But then also I try and have like a very underlying, like humorous tone, scattered here and there. So yeah, I think the writing is always going to be important, especially from a content creation standpoint, whether you're still blogging or things like that. I think what's changed has also been search engine optimization. I think we used to write and jam all these keywords in there. There was all these sort of methods and tricks and things that you were doing. But now that Google's gotten so advanced and it has adapted over the years, we're really writing for humans again, and less for like keywords. So that's been a big change. But yeah, I think the writing's always important. I think too, what's interesting also with social is you're kind of giving people both in a way, because you can have the quick video that's, 7 to 15 seconds or whatever to grab their attention. And if it does grab their attention, they find it interesting, then you can also write something more thoughtful below, and then they can take the time to read it if they want to.
Very interesting. What kind of what type of clients are you interested in working with? I know it's all commercial real estate, but is there specific parts of the real estate that you like to work with?
I mean, I've worked like you said, worked with all different types of commercial real estate related businesses. I really felt like there was a void in the market as far as companies that were out there to really service commercial real estate businesses and really have that niche. There's a million marketing companies out there, but all the clients that have come to me said, I've been working with this marketer and they're pretty good, but I don't get it. So I think, having that niche of CRE is a lot of why, people have been coming to me. I've been in the industry for 16 years. I've worked for amazing landlords. I've worked with retailers from mom and pops to internationals. But yeah, so different companies I've been working with so far, developers, small developers that own maybe 10 properties to developers that own 100 plus properties across the country. I've been working with prop tech companies who, may have had success in another industry and then bringing that technology to commercial real estate, doing some consulting work and content creation and things like that. I'm currently working with a construction company, so that's been kind of a new experience. So it really has been anyone within that CRE realm. And I know a lot of marketers are like, pick a niche, is it SEO, is it branding, that sort of thing. But I really felt like, in creating the business and in talking to so many people before I did start, what everyone needed was one go-to spot, because people are busy. A lot of people have these very successful businesses. They don't have the time to spend on marketing. They don't want a separate SEO person, a separate branding person, and a separate website person, and all these separate people. It's just way too much. So if they can go to one spot and really talk about their challenges, some people don't even know what they need. They just say, we haven't done anything in a long time. There's new businesses coming into the market. We need to compete. So what do we do? And then I've had on the flip side, people who are like, we want to educate 20 of our VPs on social media prospecting. Like, can we do a webinar? Sure. Okay. So it's been a whole range of type of different needs. But all within CRE marketing realm.
It sounds like you also simplified a lot of it for a lot of these companies, which is nice. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah, I like to think so. And I think, now being in this new entrepreneurial world has allowed me to really build my network of partners. I feel confident in just reaching out to people on LinkedIn, or maybe I saw them speak at, a conference or something like that, digitally. And I'll just reach out and say, hey, would love to connect sometime. And surprisingly, people have been pretty open to, jumping on a Zoom call or exchanging notes on social and supporting each other that way, or just meeting for breakfast. So.
And I won't get into how many years you've been in the industry, because you've been in for quite a while. And I don't want people, let me guess her age by putting out how long you've been in it. But you've been in the industry quite a while, so you're very familiar with it. And anyone that is interested, how would they get in touch with you or Rumphius Marketing? Diana Perry in Rumphius Marketing. How would they get in touch with you so they could find out if it would work for that company?
Sure. Yeah. Good question. So I'm in the midst of building out my website. I'm hoping to launch in the next month or so. As everyone knows, it's a very long process, but I'm excited to have my website out soon. So right now, my, primary methods of kind of getting the word out has been on LinkedIn and via my Instagram. So if you, search Diana Perry Rumphius on LinkedIn, I'll pop up. Or if you just search Rumphius Marketing, you could shoot me a message. My contact information is also listed there. And then if you search for Rumphius Marketing _CRE, that's my Instagram account. So you can follow me on there. I also have a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to that or shoot me a note through there. Basically, Google will get you where you need to go if you search Diana Perry Rumphius Marketing.
And they'll find a ton of your different articles or that you have published, because they're all over the place. I've seen them everywhere. Well, I see them in the New England Real Estate Journal because I get that all the time. So.
Yeah. I mean, I try and get myself out there. I've worked on my personal brand for a long time, so I think that's been a major contributor to my business being successful from the start. Is, I had that base of being on pretty much every single ICSC committee that you could ever join. So a lot of people have just known me through my writing or through one of the committees I've joined or something like that.
Well, maybe you'll have to help me with that because, like I said, I'm an old timer and that stuff is, it's kind of a foreign language to me, but I'm trying. I'll get there.
Is, if you find, a few people that you have gotten value from, just even following their Instagram account or YouTube channel or something like that. That way you're getting notified of new content, and then it really helps you stay in the know. I mean, I have my own marketing people that I'm looking up to, Seth Godin and Scott Galloway and, others. So.
Okay. It's always good to get that advice,
Yeah.
I have to listen to these shows so I can learn, so it's good for people to listen in, they find out all this different information, and then it makes it interesting. Well, maybe I should work with this person. Maybe it's something that I'm missing. So, I do appreciate you coming on and talking so freely about the marketing.
Yeah.
And we're talking with Diana Perry. She is with Rumphius Marketing, and she's been with in the industry for a number of years, and she has a great experience in getting your branding and your marketing out there. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you so much.
And thank you everyone for listening. Until next time.
All right. Take care.